3 in, get the stun and pushback. We're going to go ahead and ult, get a swipe. We missed the first swipe. We're going to get him with the ball.
You ought to know better than to mess with me.
2 people rotating over. We're going to try to see if we can get our 3 off onto this Baron to really help him out. Or we can just knock them up and kill them with a swipe.
You really thought...
What a do, Skibbity Boo, it's your boy Seanyb Gaming, and today we are going to be playing Cthulhu as support. If you are new to the channel, I upload 6 to 7 times a week. I add some commentary to a game that I've already played with the intention of seeing what went right and what went wrong, and hopefully there's something that we can learn together. If you are a returning viewer, we've got 2 games back to back, and in both of these games I feel like I really needed to counter build the enemy team. So in this game, they have a lot of healing. In the next game, they have a lot of magic. So if you want to see how I counter build and my thought process and reasoning behind the items and item order, please be sure to stick around. So Cthulhu has a pretty complicated kit, so let's go ahead and just dive right into it. We're going to start with Cthulhu's passive. Cthulhu's passive is whenever you damage an enemy with an ability or with the 3rd attack chain in your basic attack combo, you're going to apply a stack of torment. At 4 stacks of torment, the enemy is going to become insane, and insane enemies that are near Cthulhu are going to provide him 25 magical power. So Cthulhu's 1. Cthulhu's 1 is a cone attack. If you hit the enemy and they're facing you, you're going to apply 2 stacks of torment. If you hit an enemy and they're facing away from you, it's just going to be 1 stack. But if you use your 1 on an enemy that is insane, you're going to fear them, causing them to run in the other direction. It's a small form of CC. You're also going to reduce their attack speed. And right now, we currently have 20% mitigation, so when we hit an enemy with our 1, they're going to do 20% less damage to us for 6 seconds. If we use our 1 on an insane target, this 20% is going to become 20.5%. And each time we consume insanity off of an enemy, we're going to increase the damage mitigation on the 1, stacking up to 30%. So if you can consume insanity with the 1 20 times, you can bring the damage mitigation from 20% to 30% on the 1. So right there, we made a terrible play. We were trying to get pressure onto the Horus while our Cupid was getting pieced, and unfortunately I did not correct myself and go help the Cupid. Instead, I just tried to keep doing damage to the Horus, so that was a pretty selfish and bad play. Cthulhu's 2, he's going to summon a circle, and then a shot is going to come from the sky and hit the ground. That first shot is going to slow enemies, the second shot is going to root enemies. It is only the 2 pulsing shots that deal damage, so you can actually stand in Cthulhu's mire and not take damage if you can avoid the 2 pulses. If you hit an enemy with the first pulse, it's going to apply a stack of torment. If you hit the enemy with the second pulse, it's going to apply a stack of torment. So you can potentially stack torment twice on an enemy with the 2. And then Cthulhu's 3, he's going to dash forward with projectiles on either side of him. He's going to dash faster than the projectiles, but the projectiles are eventually going to catch up and travel forward. Bakasura makes a rotation over. We're going to try to get Horus away from his teammate. And it looks like they're going to be able to get away, but Bakasura relieved a lot of pressure in this lane. So, Cthulhu's 1 has the potential to apply 2 stacks of Torment, Cthulhu's 2 has the potential to apply 2 stacks of Torment, and Cthulhu's 3, I believe if you hit an enemy, you're going to apply 1 stack. If you hit them with yourself and the projectile, I believe it's 2 stacks, but I have not tested it. And then you're going to want to use the 1 to consume the insanity off of enemies. So let's go ahead and review Cthulhu's ult. When Cthulhu ults, he's going to turn into his real form. Then he has access to 3 new abilities. The first ability is going to be where he swipes his claws down. Whenever he hits an enemy, it's going to reduce their protections by 3%, stacks up to 5 times for a total of 15% protection reduction. Cthulhu's 2 in his ultimate form is he's going to throw a ball and it's going to knock up enemies, dealing damage. And then Cthulhu's 3 in his ultimate, he's going to consume 6% of his own maximum health. And then he's going to heal allies, increase their movement speed, and I believe give them a little bit of extra power. So now that we have a good idea of Cthulhu's kit, let's go ahead and go over the build and the team that we are fighting against. So we're going to kind of commentate the lane a little bit. We get the double root. We are working on just clearing the wave. It looks like they're going to back, so we should be good. We're going to group up the minions, use our 1. So we started with Guardian's Blessing, a health chalice, and then we had Baron Somdi in this game, so we went ahead and got the Baron Chalice. The Guardian's Blessing, I think, is the way to go compared to Warrior's Blessing in support, because as support you're eventually going to rotate out of the lane, and if you're truly playing support, you're sacrificing farm for your teammates. So like I would not clear wave unless Baron was there. I would try not to clear wave unless Cupid was there. And with Warrior's Blessing, if you're doing the strategy, you're going to miss out on a lot of gold. But with Guardian's Blessing, if you can get it stacked, you can actually keep up as if you were not sacrificing farm. In terms of gold, you still are going to be a little bit behind on XP. So we rotated mid, we were just going to leave Cupid alone. After the Guardian's Blessing, we went into the Shoes of the Magi. We want a little bit of lifesteal, plus the large amount of power that we're getting from the boots early on is going to help us do damage early on. Cooldown, I think, would be acceptable. Same with the tank boots. I did not get a lot of value out of the Traveler's shoes. So maybe not that one, but I'm sure you can do it. I just didn't get a whole lot of value out of it. I feel like the cooldown, a little bit of extra protections, or the lifesteal is more valuable than movement speed. On Cthulhu, so right here we have 3 people on us. We're going to ult. We're going to use our 3, which is probably not the best idea right there because it sacrifices a little bit of our health. Baron Somdi pulls them in. We're going to keep the damage going. We're going to use our 2. We get a pick. And unfortunately we go down to churn, but I feel like that was an even trade.
My brain just disconnected.
It was a 2-for-1 trade for us so far, 3-for-1 trade, so absolutely worth it. In fact, that was almost ideal. Our support was the one that went down, yet we got their mid, their support, and their jungle. I think it's horse support, Goomba jungle. That's what's going on. I guess Anubis is over in the solo. So looking at the enemy team, Horus has some heals that can become very annoying late game. Churn has some heals built into his kit, plus he's probably going to be building a lifesteal item at some point in his build. Kumbhakarna, we're not that worried about with heals. Anubis, absolutely going to be building lifesteal. And Oleron, absolutely going to be building lifesteal. So that's 4 of the 5 that have heals that are going to be a little bit alarming. So we're going to try to nip this in the butt as soon as possible by going Pestilence right after boots. So right there I got cancelled out of my 2, so I was unable to channel it. So Pestilence as an item, it gives you some health, it gives you some protection, and then it has the passive of reducing the enemy's healing ability if you're standing within a certain distance of them. Their damage, so their solo damage, their jungle, and their carry are all magical. Their mid is damage, or is physical, but we're not that concerned. I think our team's going to be able to get the horse, so we're just going to start using our abilities on the turn. We're going to go ahead and go under tower. Baron's able to get the pick. We can use our 3 here to increase the movement speed. We get the knockup. Unfortunately, we were not able to save the Baron. We get a slow. We get a root. Bakasura is going to jump in. We're going to follow up. We do not have any mana. We have the minions in, so now Baka is able to push. We're going to pop a shell on him just to make sure he gets out. And he doesn't even get out. So that was my bad. I feel like there was definitely something in that order of events that I could have done to save the Bakasura. We're going to peel off from the Oleron. Use our 2 to provide a little bit of heal. So now we're just going to hold lane until Baron can get back so he can consume the wave and get the XP and farm from it. With two people here, we're just going to let them walk into tower. And we're going to clear once Baron gets back. So we don't have any potions left in our health chalice or our Baron brew. We're going to clear one more wave and then probably back here. So that way we can buy our Pestilence.
Enemy missing middle.
We don't want to miss out on our red, so we're going to hit this with Baron. Although, for our team, it would probably be better to let him hit it by himself. That way he gets the full XP. He's going to get the full XP in mid while we back. So now that we have Pestilence online, we want to be super aggressive towards Olaroon, towards Anubis, and towards Kumba. If we can, we're definitely going to want to try to avoid the damage coming out of Churnos.
Good morning, gamers.
Well done.
We are going to make our way over to the left Harpies, but it does not look like they're there, so we're just going to throw a ward up so we can get a little bit of vision. From personal preference, I feel like the enemy jungler comes from solo side a lot more times in mid than they do from dual side. So if you had to choose between warding the dual side or the solo side in mid, I would definitely recommend going the solo side. Unfortunately, not much we can do for that Bakasura. 3 people here. We're going to try to ult. We're going to get a knockup up onto the Horus. He's going to stand there and just die for the Baron. We use our 1, so we're reducing their protections. We use our 3, so that increases the movement speed and heal of our teammates. And heals our teammates. So right now we have great pressure. We could probably go for gold or gank right lane right now. Instead, we're just going to kind of keep tussling mid. We're going to try to dash through Kumba's 3. We have a shell for the Baron as soon as he lands. We're able to pop it. He's going to pull the churn in the tower. That is 1. And we're going to use our slow or our 2 to get him. And then we're going to let Baron get the kill.
Those cheeks just got clapped. You really
Next, we're going to go ahead and rotate over to dual lane, see if we can't catch this Olaroon out of place.
Be right back.
If he has our ultimate, I think he might be able to kill us, but if he does not, we should be able to really pressure him right here. So we miss our 2, we're going to cancel out of it. Here comes Bakasura. We're going to use our 3 to get a little bit of a slow and a knockup. So here he's still just going to run away. Bakasura is able to leap out. We're going to consume their purple. We should definitely hit their purple, because I don't think we're going to be able to get the pick here. Bakasura does get the pick here. Horus is here as well, so we're going to try to provide a little bit of peel for the Bakasura. Cupid is able to get the purple, so that is some XP denial towards their Olaroon, and some XP towards our Cupid. We're going to see if there's anything we can do to help. We maybe put the 2 a little bit too far away. We're going to see if we can try to get this Cupid out. Telling him to run. We're going to 3 in, get the stun and pushback. We're going to go ahead and ult. Get a swipe. We missed the first swipe. We're going to get him with the ball.
You ought to know better than to mess with me.
2 people rotating over. We're going to try to see if we can get our 3 off onto this Baron to really help him out. Or we can just knock them up and kill them with a swipe.
You really thought you could contain this amount of God-given
Our purple
talent?
is up. I am pulling the Cupid back to move towards that. Baron's a little far pushed up. We weren't really communicating with him. So we have a pretty penny in the pocket. We do not have a whole lot of mana, so we are going to go ahead and back. We are thinking about going Breastplate for the cooldowns, but we are instead going to go Gauntlet of Thebes. So why go Pestilence before Gauntlet of Thebes this game? Well, they have 4 sources of healing that are only going to get worse as the game goes on. With Cthulhu, I found games where I built Gauntlet of Thebes right after boots. I really struggled until the Gauntlet of Thebes were fully stacked. So there's just this awkward period where I don't have the maximum amount of stacks. So if I only have 10 stacks, I only have 10 protections from the item and some health. Whereas with Pestilence, I'm getting the utility of the anti-heal, and I'm getting 80 protections right off the rip from completing it, which feels a lot better than 0 protections and just some health. I think Gauntlet is still an absolutely great item, don't get me wrong. I just would not build it right after boots on Cthulhu. It just felt, some games you could get away with it, but some games I felt like he really got punished for it. I think he does better with a pure defensive item or a hybrid item and then going into Gauntlet of Thebes. And I believe I followed the same logic for the next game that's coming up.
Okay.
So we're going to start gold. Hopefully Cupid will rotate over and we can burn this down. Does not look like they're going to be able to make it here in time to contest it. I'm going to leave it to them and make sure that we can zone. Oleron was hanging out. We're going to try to stall him as much as possible. We do get the gold tier kill. 4 people here, so we're going to use our ultimate. Try to get the fight started. We're like awkwardly caught on this structure.
Cyberbullying continues.
Use R2, use R1, reducing their protections. There's the Oleron. We're going to use R3 to knock him back and to get the stun, or short stun. We get our one-off horses here, he goes down. Oleron just used his ultimate. We have enough people here that I think we're going to be able to just crash the tower. I keep getting caught on minions and players. Oleron is looping around. As long as Cupid can get to the tower, we're going to be able to get it here. And Oleron realizes that, so he's just going to back up. I think we could probably hit this other tower as well. Although Baron did say he's backing. Just trying to get a little bit of poke. That's my first time seeing the brand new Anubis skin, and I was like, who is that? Is that Chalk? Is that Kumba? Oh, it's Anubis. So, a little bit of confusion in game there. But Cupid is able to fall back, so we are going to move towards our purple, try to secure this XP. Cupid is still a little bit behind this Oleron. He did have a rough start because I failed to protect him. So we're going to try to rotate over and help him get camps and a lead, and the enemy team is going to surrender.
Let's keep this going.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this one. We got top damage and top mitigation. There is another game coming up. Here are the stats for the game. So we went 4, 1, and 13, and we managed to deal 12,000 player damage. So in the second game, we're just going to go ahead and start at the purple, and I'm playing with my friend Preston as Cupid again. So we're just running it back, trying to get a full game in instead of a surrender.
See ya.
And I think we also have the re-colored skin, not the one you get from buying the $40, whatever they call it these days, but the one that you get for buying with favor. So with Cthulhu, we're going to put a point into our 1. It has the lowest cooldown, and I feel like it also has the potential to consume stacks of insanity. So we're going to want to level that first. I think there's also a case to be made for leveling the 2. It starts on a pretty high cooldown, but as you max it out, the cooldown gets smaller, and it actually does more damage than the 1. However, it can be cancelled, it can be kind of awkward to hit sometimes. We're going to get some damage onto this Cthulhu. So even with just Guardian's Blessing, I feel like we have good damage in this lane. We're going to use our 1 on the wave. We have so much health, they haven't really even tried to poke us. Jinwei is not using her basic attacks. I think we're going to be able to get really high pressure in this lane. So we make the play to go for this Harpy. It's not worth a whole lot of gold or XP, but it will put us ahead of the enemy pair. And that's kind of the main reason. We just want to hit level 5 before they do. We do not want them to ult us before we can ult them. So Pele is over here. We're going to use our one on the wave. See if we can't get them to come up a little bit. Pele blinks onto the Jinwei. We're going to use our 2. Gets the root onto their Cthulhu.
That sucked.
So while Pele is here, we should definitely go and try to invade their purple. It is about to respawn. I think Pele just missed it. So now their 2 is up. We're going to use our 3 just to get some torment stacks on the enemy. We are kind of hurting for mana. After this wave, we should definitely go for their purple buff. So we're just going to let Cupid clear. They're playing super passive. This Cthulhu that I'm going against was a diamond. So I was thinking to myself, like, oh no. This guy who's got some crazy Cthulhu build, knows how to play him perfectly, is gonna spank me all game in lane. It's not the case. He went Warrior's Blessing, and I feel like the payoff just wasn't really there, especially when it comes to mid and late game. I will be getting just more gold than he will because I'll have a stacked Guardian's Blessing while he'll have a stacked Warrior's Blessing. He might be able to do more damage in the early game, but my sustain in the early game is going to be way better, and then I should be able to outdamage him in mid to late game just because I'll have more gold to buy more items, get those items online earlier than he does, and then hopefully just be a better Cthulhu support than he is.
Take this jungle buff.
We're going to go up through jungle, see if we can't catch this Jinwei a little too far up. There's her dash. We're going to use our 1. Cupid gets the stun. We're going to try to get the root and slow going. We use our 3. We get the first blood. Would have been better if Cupid got the first blood, but we were just trying to secure it by throwing all of our abilities down. So right there, we just completely skipped past wave and went for the Jinwei, and it worked out really well.
I think they're having a bad time over there.
Use our 1 on the wave. Now we're gonna go into the jungle. We're gonna back. We have enough money for boots, and in this game, we are also going to be going with the shoes of the Magi. So let's take a look at the enemy comp and kind of figure out why we are building, or how we are going to build, what we are going to build. So in Guardian, they have Cthulhu. He's going to do a lot of damage just because Cthulhu is doing a lot of damage these days. Baba Yaga in solo, so she's going to be tanky, probably have some good poke. Persephone is going to be a problem if I cannot mitigate a lot of her damage. So then the 2 physicals are Jinwei and Daji. With 3 magicals on their team. And that's another kill I accidentally took. So we're going to peel back, see if there's anything we can do. That Daji looks like she's going to go in. We're going to use our 1 on her. Their Cthulhu is here, so we're going to go ahead and ult. We're going to use our 2. Pele uses her ultimate to avoid the knockup. So right now we are in a bad spot. We get the pick onto Pele, but we stand under the tower just a little bit too long, and we get picked ourselves. So they have 3 magical, which means I'm probably going to want to build a magical defense item first. Some things that come to mind are Pestilence, Genji's Guard, and Voidstone. Pestilence would be great for anti-heal. Genji's Guard would be great if I was trying to optimize my cooldowns. And I think Voidstone is probably the best for getting tankier and doing damage. Voidstone is going to give us some magical protections, some magical power, and it's also going to reduce all enemies that stand near you. It's going to reduce their magical protections by a certain percentage. So that is also going to help out the soul on our team. Use the 1 and the 3. She's able to dash away to avoid the 2. We get caught on some minions because we're so big. We're going to pop the shell. Try to start basic attacking out of this. Does not look good. We're going to start running. So we did get Shell as our first relic this game, and the last game as well.
No worries.
It looks like for this game, our second relic is going to have to be beads. They just have a lot of ultimates that can burn beads, Dodgy, and Pele. You could beads the knockup of Baba Yaga or Cthulhu, but it's not really worth it. The beads against the Dodgy and Persephone are going to be very important. So we try to make a appearance in right lane before we have to back. We were able to get Jinwei to ult. We were thinking about backing, but we're actually going to try to invade their purple buff. So we're just standing by, make sure that Jinwei can't put any pressure onto the Cupid. We're also looking at the minimap, trying to keep an eye for the enemy Cthulhu. Looks like their purple buff wasn't up. Oh, now it is. I don't know. That looked a little weird. Couldn't see it from the harpies. Maybe that's always the case. Felt like we would have been able to see it there. So we hit the side harpy, and then we hit their purple. Now we're going to hit wave with Cupid. And now we're going to go hit the other harpy and our purple. So if I were to just rotate over to dual lane and only hit the wave with Cupid, it would put him at a gold and XP deficit. However, whenever I make my rotation, if we are able to secure 4 camps across 2 or 3 waves, then we are splitting enough XP that he's keeping track as if he was in dual lane all by himself, or potentially even put him ahead of where he would be if it was just him there by himself. So that was a really good rotation. We get Jin to use her ult, we push her out, and then we secure a bunch of camps. So now we have gotten Cupid a little ahead. We're going to avoid his lane for a bit because we just helped it out. Looks like solo lane needs a little bit of work, so we're going to rotate over here. First time doing a damage check against this Baba Yaga. Might not even really go for her. She's going to try to go for us. We do some decent damage. And Shablanca is back, so we're just going to go ahead and dip out. We might rotate up through jungle. Here's their Cthulhu. We use our 1. His dash cancels my dash, unfortunately. We both root each other. Just 2 Cthulhus dancing around.
Your middle tower is under attack.
So, as you can see, we have the tentacles and the eyes on our screen. That means that we are insane right now. If Cthulhu were to use his 1, he would consume our insanity. So we are going to rotate out, and so far this game we've done a pretty bad job of consuming insanity. We don't have any additional stacks on our passive. We're going to use our 3, get the stun and knockback. That is a miss ult from Persephone. We're going to go ahead and ult, and we are able to get the pick onto Persephone. Dodgy is dealing damage to us right now. We are able to get the pick on Dodgy with the help of Soul.
Thanks.
We're going to use our 2 on the side harpies.
You and
So me and the Soul really feeling each other now. We both realize that we're both competent players.
Okay.
So we're going to make a play over to gold. Every ability we have. So when you're attacking objectives with Cthulhu, you want to make sure that your 3 and 1 are on cooldown before your 2. Just because your 2 takes so long to channel, if you have your 1 available but you use your 2 before your 1, your 2 is going to go on cooldown, you're going to use the 1, and then you're going to have to wait for both abilities to go off of cooldown, and your 1 will probably come off first. So if you use your 1 and then your 2, you'll have to wait less time to use your 1 again. I hope that made sense. So we're going to check over in the dual lane. Persephone is making a rotation over. We don't really have the mana or health to engage, so we're just going to get a little bit of poke on the wave and go ahead and back. So very similar to the last video, it's not that we're not building Gauntlet of Thebes, it's that we're not going to build it first, right after boots. I think the Void Stone is going to really help me with the matchups in mid. It's going to be Cthulhu and Persephone and Magi versus our Cthulhu, Sol, and Pele. So of the core three that we're going to be fighting into, two of them are magical. So have vision that they were able to get these left harpies. They're closing in on Sol while I was rotating around, so I probably messed up a little bit right there. We're going to use everything we possibly can. There is an ultimate. We're going to go ahead and ult ourselves. They were able to get the Sol, but Pele is here. We miss our knockup. We're just going to stick to the dodgy. Pele is able to get the kill. We're going to use R2, get the knockup. We try to use R2 in the normal form, but we miss, so we're just going to cancel out of it. We're going to 3. We got 2 people chasing us. I think we are good, though. This is what we got Void Stone for, is to fight into these 2 people confidently.
Destroy the right enemy tower.
I do feel like stacking Gauntlet of Thebes is a little tricky on Cthulhu, just because I feel like he usually has the damage to clear a wave by himself. So you really want to make a note of trying to get the assists while you're stacking Gauntlet of Thebes. So right there, out of that wave, I only got 2. I think Sol said, okay, like, why are you clearing my wave? There is their Cthulhu. He's ulting in their tower. I don't think there's a whole lot we're going to need to do. Kind of just avoiding him. Looks like Sol's able to get out. We're kind of just invading their jungle with Pele, just in case she did find somebody to go in on. There's the Baba Yaga. We're able to use the 1. That's going to be Baba Yaga's dash. We got his slow. Hopefully that'll help Pele. Pele is able to get the pick. Here comes the dodgy. We're going to do everything we can. We pop a shell. I think that's going to cause her to disengage. She's going to ult. We do not have ultimate or beads yet, so we're going to get pulled. That's a lot of damage, a lot more than I normally would expect, but I think that's because I don't have any physical defense other than the stacks of Gauntlet. Also, in this video, I edited out the deaths. Doing the 2 videos back to back was long enough.
On my way.
We're going to make our way back mid. Pele's taking a bit of damage from Baba Yaga. Four people here. Let's just take this tower. Go ahead and push Persephone, get some poke onto her. That is her dash. Baba Yaga got a pick, unfortunately. We're going to use our 3, go straight into tower. Try to stick onto this Baba Yaga, provide a little bit of a front line for our team. Now we're going to ult. We get the knockup onto Persephone. We're not going to dive into the Phoenix, so we're just going to hang out between the tier 1 and the tier 2. Try to get some poke onto this Jing Wei.
I think they're having a bad time.
Maybe this was not the best idea, so we're going to dash out. We use our 2, but Pele is going to leap over that. We try to use our 1 to maybe get a fear, but she doesn't have insane on her. So right now we are running for our dear life. We have Cupid to help out. We use our 1. We're using our 1 on them because it's reducing the amount of damage that they have or can do to us. No, I went back in hard for the Jing Wei and I don't think I'm going to be able to get it. Unfortunate. So we just kind of picked a bad fight. We should not have been near the Phoenix and tier 2 tower. We should have just been tanking the tower shots for our team so we could push the tower. So we have 25 stacks on our Gauntlet of Thebes. Like I said, it's stacking very slow. I feel like it's more difficult than it needs to be on Cthulhu. It just clears everything. And I think I'm also doing a bad job of keeping a mental note of stacking Gauntlet of Thebes. So a lot of that is probably on me. After Gauntlet of Thebes, we are going to be going into Ethereal Staff. Ethereal Staff is a beautiful item for Guardians that want to deal damage. It's going to provide some health, it's going to provide some power, It's going to provide some crowd control reduction, meaning that if you get stunned for a second and you have 20% CCR, you're going to only be stunned for 0.8 seconds instead of the full second. And whenever you damage an enemy with an ability, once every 15 seconds, you are going to steal a percentage of their health and mana and make it your own. You're going to borrow the health and mana, and I believe it stays for 45 seconds, but you can deal damage and get the proc every 15 seconds. Those numbers might be slightly off, but Ethereal Staff is great for Cthulhu. So far in the build, we are kind of lacking physical protections. We only have 34 physical protections from Gauntlet of Thebes right now.
Maybe we should assist them.
In a bad spot, someone will have to dash out. That is a Persephone ult. We're going to see if there's anything we can do for Soul. We're going to ult. We're going to use R3, increase her movement speed, and also give her a small heal. We use R2 to get the Ethereal Staff proc onto Dodgy. We're going to keep using R1 to keep reducing the protections of the enemy. Baba Yaga is somewhere behind us because she was able to get the Soul.
Come on, guys, not like this.
So now we are pretty weak fighting into that. We're going to use R2, but Dodgy's able to leap on us.
You have been slain.
Shibalanke would have been very helpful in that team fight.
An enemy
Unfortunately,
has been
he did not
slain.
make it to the team fight.
Nice job.
Thanks.
Attack, fire giant.
So I make the call to go for fire. We have a pick on the Cthulhu. Jinwei is all the way in right. We could definitely get the Pyromancer here. Maybe even the Fire Giant if we had Solar Cupid.
Wait.
We do have Shibalanke though. I think just getting Pyromancer is the safer thing to do.
Okay.
On my way.
And the Pyromancer straight into Fire Giant is the riskier thing to do. It'd be safer to go for Fire Giant first, but we kind of wanted to secure Pyromancer, get the buff and free gold. We're going to use our ultimate, try to create a little bit of zoning. It looks like nobody's even around.
Group up.
We get a knock-up onto the Jinwei. We're just going to stick to her. We are maybe putting ourselves in a potentially terrible position here, especially if we dash 3 forward. Soul's able to get the pick, so hopefully that is worth it. We're going to use R2 to try to provide a little bit of heal.
Enemy missing left. Be careful.
So now we are grouped in mid. Soul gets picked by the Dodgy. The Persephone ult comes in. We're going to use our beads to try to dash through some people. We're going to use our 2 to try to provide a little bit of heal on that corner.
Retreat.
We are down to keep fighting, but we need to have our damage here with us. Cupid and Pele are both great damage characters, so if I can get them to commit their abilities to me and focus on me, I might be able to create a window for Pele and Cupid to begin fighting. But I think the smart thing is to fall back and just go for some camps.
Ultimate is down.
Looks like they are in left jungle. Gold Fury is still down. We're going to use our 2 on the waves, get some clear from a distance, and then we're going to use our 1, get full clear. Baba Yaga is mid, nobody right, nobody left. We got Dodgy also hanging out in mid. Some wards would be a great idea.
Be right back.
We actually have a decent amount down on the map right now as a team. We are going to be going into Spirit Robes, and right here, I think I only went Spirit Robes just because when I backed, that was the only item I had money for. Mantle of Discord probably would be a better item going into this team composition. They don't have any crazy amounts of CC, or hard CC I should say, but it is going to help us whenever we get Persephone ulted, Dodgy ulted, knocked up by Jinwei. I just feel like those things don't happen all too frequently in this game.
Enemies in the right jungle.
I also kind of like Spirit Robes a little bit more than Mantle, just because it has a shorter time before it can be activated. Mantle, it's like a minute and a half. Spirit Robe, I think, is only 45 seconds. We're going to use our ult, which just eats the Persephone ult. she's going to run away. If we can get Persephone out of the fight, we are doing our job as Guardian.
Oh, is it feeding time already?
She is down. We're going to see if there's anything we can do to help out anyone else on our team. We're going to use our 3 to get the increased movement speed to Pele.
Because they carrying hard. They're killing it.
Pele is able to get a pick. Now it is just the Jing Wei and the Cthulhu left.
Maybe we should assist them.
And unfortunately, Jing Wei comes up behind us and is able to get a huge pick. We're going to use our 3, knock her back, get a little bit of a stun. So with me and Pele, with it just being us two, their team about to respawn, makes sense to fall back and to go for Gold Fury.
Your left tower is under attack.
So right there, probably would be better to use the 1 before the 2. Easy Gold Fury.
Going for jungle buff.
Enemy missing mid. We're gonna kind of hang out with Soul. We do not know where the enemy is. There is a Jing Wei mid. We are going to back to buy another ward. Nope, why did we back? Yep, we back to buy another ward. So if you look at our passive meter, so we just took a look at their builds, and it doesn't look like anybody on their team is building anti-heal, and that is what we were checking for right there. If they are not building anti-heal, we could build a cool or a lifesteal item on Cthulhu. Really increase his survivability and his damage output. If they had anti-heal, we'd probably just go more defense, more protections, and health. But with no anti-heal, that actually opens up a lot of flexibility. We use our 1, get the Ethereal stack onto Baba Yaga. That is a Pele ultimate. We're going to try to stick to this Persephone. We use a 1, we get a lot of damage off. Now we're just going to ult her. Persephone, you are not allowed to participate in team fights. Get back here. Get back here, Persephone. We're going to use our 3, try to help out as many of our teammates as possible. We were able to get the pick onto the Baba Yaga. Now this Cthulhu is pretty far up by himself.
Be right back.
Persephone is still about.
Oh, it's feeding time already?
Cthulhu goes down. We're going to see if there's anything we can do to this Persephone.
On my way.
That is her dash. And I missed a lot of abilities right there. I don't think she can just burst me down with 1 ability. I think I'm going to have another set of cooldowns before she can kill me. We were able to get the pick.
Attack middle lane.
So it's just the Jing Wei left.
Let's go!
Attack left lane.
Do you want to play?
Dodgy is almost up. Same with Baba Yaga and Cthulhu.
Enemy ultimate.
We might be able to get the middle Phoenix here. No, does not look like it. I think the play is going to go for to go for the tier 1 tower over and left. Oof. Oh, Haley's going to go in. So we are going to go for this Phoenix. We are pretty weak. We kind of just dashed in and then ran away. Not a very effective attack. So Pele committed. It was a bad fight. We need to fall back. They're about to be able to push or counter push us here. We use our 3, try to get the kill onto Dodgy. We get silenced by Baba Yaga. Baba Yaga ults. I don't think there's a whole lot we're going to be able to do. We use our 2 to try to provide a little bit of heal. And we ult just to die. So that is going to put our ultimate on cooldown.
An enemy has been slain.
Sorry if these edits are making it to where you kind of lose what's going on in the game. This video was going to be over an hour if I didn't cut out some of these death timers. So I do notice that I need a physical item. I also noticed that They do have some lifesteal items on their team, so I'm going to pick up Contagion after I sell my Guardian's Blessing.
On my way.
We are about to get the Enhanced Fire Giant. So I have 2 hunters with me. We just need to get onto this tower.
Okay.
I can tank pretty much any of these structures at this point.
Enemies in the left jungle.
So we are going to burn this tower down. Baba Yaga is in mid. Like, I think I can just run in there, ult the Phoenix, and then we get it. We're going to use our 1. We get ulted. We use beads. We're trying to provide a little bit of heal. We're going to ult in between the Phoenixes. Just kind of create as much damage as possible.
Come on, guys.
We're going to try to use our 3 onto the soul right there. We were able to get the Phoenix, so now it is just evacuate. We use our 3 again, so I think we lost 18% of our total health right there because we used the 3 in Cthulhu's ult 3 times. We're going to start popping some health chalices. We are fighting against this Baba Yaga. I think she is going to have the advantage, although we do kind of chunk. We use our 3, she immunes it, and now we are in trouble. I remember this play. We're going to use our 2, get some Ethereal staffs, get the root and the slow. Here is the Cthulhu ult. So right here, it looks like his Sever just missed. We were able to dodge his knockup and his other Sever. We're going to dash away. And right now, we're just trying to buy as much time as possible. We're the last one alive. We want to get them towards their side of the map instead of our side of the map. And I think I bought anywhere from 10 to 25 seconds for our team to respawn right there. With the Phoenix down as well, that really helps us out. They're not going to be able to push. I don't even think they got a tower from the Dia side.
Retreat!
Okay. Help!
So our team is going for Pyromancer. Baba Yaga is kind of nearby. We're going to see if we can zone her off a little bit. We need 1 good push, and we should be able to win this game. I think we have the complete advantage here. Jinwei's a little far pushed up. If we were to collapse on her, we could probably get the pick. Persephone is also nearby. We're going to go for her. She is our number 1. Get her out of the fight. Other honorable mentions are Daji and Jinwei and Baba Yaga. But if we can get the Persephone out, I feel like that is going to be huge for the team. We get the knockup. She immunes it. We are getting so much damage off. We're just going to go straight into the Phoenix and start tanking it. We have a Cthulhu attacking us from behind, but it doesn't even seem to really matter. We're going to cancel out of our ultimate right outside of the Phoenix, so that way we can loop back around. We're going to try to dash through.
They're killing it out there.
Baba Yaga is able to avoid all the damage. Totally, for whatever reason, just did not see that dodgy right there. Shablanca is able to rotate back and help me, which I truly appreciate because I think dodgy probably would have gotten me right there. Right here, we're going to try to get the Phoenix. It's a little bit risky.
Your right tower.
We're going to at least try to clear the wave for the next wave to come in. Right now we are in a bad position and Jinwei is flying out. We are going to dash away. And she's just going to stick to the wave, so we're just going to back.
Attack fire giants.
We have a pretty penny in the pocket, so we're going to sell our wards and buy... Oh, we already have the movement speed potion. So for our last item, which we rarely get to make it to these days, we're actually going to go Obsidian Shard instead of a lifesteal item. Obsidian Shard is going to make it to where we do 20% penetration with the occasional 30% penetration. It's going to give us a decent amount of power. We have enough protections and health items between Contagion, Voidstone, Ethereal Staff, and Spirit Robe, and Gauntlet of Thebes that we only really need the 2 hybrid items of Voidstone and Ethereal Staff to do some decent damage. But if we were to get the Obsidian Shard, that is going to convert it to where if they don't have any protections, we're going to be doing some serious damage to them. And I feel like it doesn't really hurt our survivability either. It just increases our damage output and makes it to where they potentially have to get pushed out a little bit sooner. So I'm trying to ping everyone, let's go up through jungle. Some people are going to go through jungle, some people are going to go through lane. Cthulhu is really out of position, so this is going to be a great fight for us. We're going to use our 2, that is her dash. Now that she's dashed, we're going to go ahead and ult. There's nothing she's going to be able to do. And that is a Persephone down. We're going to rotate back, see if there's anything we can do to get any other damage off. We're going to use our 3 to increase the health of, can't even see who that is right now, Shablanke. We're going to use our 2. That is another pick. There's Jinwei in jungle. I'm going to try to zone her off while our team gets the Phoenix.
Destroyed a left enemy Phoenix. Attack middle.
Now it's going to be attack middle lane. We're going to get all these structures down, hopefully get a few picks. We pop our shell. We're going to use our 3 to get the knockback and stun. Now we're going to use our 2 while still tanking Phoenix shots. Very nice. So now we should be able to just push in and win. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. The stats for the game will be posted in just a second. I hope you enjoyed the counter building tips that I offered. If you feel like you learned anything at all, please subscribe to the channel and check out some other videos. Thank you for stopping by. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.